Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. Yes, it is another day, 7 p.m. Eastern. You have to look at my mug. Yes, it's required. That is the orders that I've given you as libertarian, and you do not have to follow at all. But it makes me feel good to say it. It is Friday, which means I have someone here, a comedian here, talking about funny things, which means it's Sharpe Way stew time. Yes, it is. I'm very happy. But before we go there, you know what I'm going to ask you. Like, comment, share. Like, comment, share. Let people know this is happening. It's important. How are we going to grow our media if you don't tell people about it? Magic? I don't have magic powers. If I had them, I would, I don't know, make you like, comment, and share more. So I don't have it, so I can't. But if you can't do that, no worries. Support me on Patreon. Patreon.com/SharpeWay. Throw me some money. You got those big dollars? Throw me $100 a month if you got the big dollars. I hope you all have big dollars. If you don't, $10 will do. $25 will do. All good. You can't do that, and support my sponsor. Head on over to theadvocates.org. This is free. Take the test to see where you stand politically and let others know. Let others know. Share it online. Let people see it. Get people to understand that the libertarian way may be the way they are, and maybe not, but it might be. It might be. Another guy who might be libertarian is a guy who's right here with me today. The man himself, comedian, actor, podcast host, all kind of cool things. The man himself, Boris Khaykin. Did I say it right?
You did not, but you know what? You were set up for failure there. You were not set up for success. Khaykin. It's a silent K in the beginning of my last name.
I was testing you. You got it right. Well done. Yes, Khaykin. That is correct. Well done. You passed my test.
The whole country has been testing me the same way.
Yes. Well, you got to pass once in a while, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So good. Yes. I'm glad to have you here, my friend. For more information on Mr. Khaykin, did you get that right?
Hiking, like you're going hiking.
I'm going hiking, like Mr. Hiking. That's what I said. You okay? Going hiking. Just go to the Boris K on Twitter, and you will see what he is doing, running around this cool area, the Boris K. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, there were many, but one of them why was because you're kind of sarcastic against the system. I like that. Right? Like you talk about Trump, but then you don't really hate Trump, but then you act like you hate Trump, but then you don't really hate Trump. And then you kind of hate Trump, but then you don't hate Trump. So it's like that kind of thing I like. You say things like that. I like about comedians. Am I wrong?
No, that's great. I really am fond of that assessment, actually.
There we go. Absolutely. So I want to show one which Trump supporters don't get mad. Just this is a good one. There are some Trump supporters still on my show. There are, so don't get mad. But this is a good one. I think you'll enjoy it. This is off YouTube. This is like 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Ahead of my time.
Yep, see that? You were ahead of your time. There we go. See that? You were so busy trying to be righteous, you got killed.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a metaphor for all of us, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
But I'm not done yet.
Not done. But what's worse is they put your Twitter handle on your tombstone, not even your name. I mean, that's kind of bad, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did it, but yeah.
There we go. Yes. You are just not done, are you?
No. I've got important work in online activism to do. Uh-oh. It looks like it's my show now. Larry Sharpe's battery's out. I don't know if I'm in charge of the Sharpe stew or if this isn't streaming at all, but I suppose it's my mantle to handle. Well, I'll talk about that sketch for the time being until Larry comes back. Oh, good. I've got a friend sending me LOL as a message to the situation. Now, which battery ran out, we will never know. Is he really? He can't be running the show off of his phone. That feels like too obvious a mistake for a smart guy. But oh, is he back? We've got a still. We've got a useful still, and
I am back.
oh, you are back.
I am. I don't know what happened. I all of a sudden got thrown off. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden I got thrown off. But I'm here. My computer didn't love me.
All right. Well, you're back. I was wondering what battery ran out on.
So all good. It all works. So that was yet another test, Mr. Khaykin, that you have passed yet again. You are the best. But what I was saying was, you're not done. And I think this is really a metaphor for people who just can't stop being angry, right?
Most definitely. I actually had the highest honor with this sketch where I had a target that literally inspired the sketch. A girl that I'm Facebook friends with that posts, righteous and angry stuff all the time, messaged me saying my sketch made her self-conscious about it.
Wow.
Unbeknownst, was literally the inspiration for this, among many people. And it was like, obviously she didn't know how much of a compliment that she was giving me, considering the fact that she literally inspired it.
No, that's actually amazing. I mean, the fact that would happen shows the impact that this kind of thing can have, right?
Yeah, I mean, in a very clear, for me, in a very clear personal way, in that instance.
I love that. But the other thing though is, right, the idea that we're so worried about being angry at others and not worried about actually making things work, right? I don't want to make things work. I just want to be mad.
Right. Well, being mad is sort of almost a tribal symbol, right? Where you're mad and you're together with everyone who's mad and you're against everyone who's not mad, and then it flips around.
All right. For some reason, all of a sudden, I am having some trouble with my computer for a second. Hold on one second, guys. I hope I don't go away. I'm gonna try not to go away if I can. Hold on one second. I hope I don't have to go away again.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of stand-up opportunities, so I will just go ham here.
You can just riff if you want to, I guess, right? Is that how that works?
I guess it's not really, but I will make the best of the moment.
You'll make the best of it. I do like that idea. You'll make the best of it. All right, I'm gonna see what I could do. I don't know why I'm freezing up. I will be right back.
Yeah. I'll just man the helm. Everybody out there. Well, I could take this moment for promo. That would really be the obnoxious thing to do, wouldn't it? I don't want to do it quite yet. I'm sure I'll have opportunities to do it. In the meantime, what's up, everybody? I'm in New York. I hope you all are doing okay. Feel free to chat, make some conversation. I could swear I muted myself on the Facebook, but tell them to read comments. Oh, I don't hear you, but now there's two. Oh, there you are.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There we go. It worked. There, I'm back. Easy day.
Easy
day.
I didn't.
Yes. The what I wanted to bring up, the idea I wanted to bring up was exactly that. That we're so busy being angry that we're not trying to fix anything. That drives me crazy.
Right. Well, I think that usually feels like the priority for people is to signal, have tribal signals that make them feel like they're kind of in an in-group or something like that.
Yes.
It sucks because I was thinking about this the other day, like with masks, it's kind of the latest thing there, where it's just like such a clear tribal signal, where I'm in Brooklyn, and obviously the thing here socially for the most part is to be responsible and wear a mask. There's obviously people being hypocritical about it, but the thing that signals you're in group is that you wear a mask. But then people take it to this extreme where I have friends that are like, influential or have Twitter followers, and they'll film people outside near no one by themselves with no mask on. And to me, that's like, if you were in New York and you were in Alabama or whatever, you would be the person in Costco screaming at people to not wear a mask, because that would be what would give you that social reinforcement,
Well, you did a video, which I don't know if I can show. It's a little bit vulgar, but you did a video about that. And can I just say it versus actually showing it?
Yeah, and I do have to give credit. I directed that video, but a guy named Evan Krumholtz is the guy who wrote that video.
Yeah, if you guys want to see the video, you can go over to his Twitter feed. There's some nudity to it, so I don't want to put it on because then people get mad at me if I put too much nudity on. But you can go to his Twitter feed, head on over there, check that out if you want to. And it's basically a guy walking, a guy walking with his mask on, texting, and then it's a guy on the side of basically the park who's pleasuring himself nude. Right? Did I say it nicely?
It all checks out.
Here we go. He's pleasuring himself nude, and a guy stops, looks at him, and goes, "Guy, where's your mask?" So the guy just puts his mask on, continues to pleasure himself, and the guy walks away. That's all he cared about. He didn't care that some guy was literally naked in the park pleasuring himself. He didn't care. He only cared, got a mask on, and then walked away. This is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's typical New York. You know, the other one I noticed, I was walking with my wife, and like I wear a mask when it's somewhere crowded. I wear a mask when it seems like the courteous thing to do. But if I'm going around outside and it's not very crowded, I might not wear a mask. And I've noticed a really interesting thing, which is I will pass people, and if they have their like not handkerchief, bandana or like something, or like their mask, and it's on them but it's down. And what people do is, as a courtesy, when they walk by you, they'll pick up their mask and put it on. But if I'm not wearing a mask, they see it, they go for the gesture, and I see a look on their face like I just freed them from the burden of having to do that, because they're like, oh, he's okay with it. All right, well then I guess, because we're walking by each other for a second. If right now the rate is going up a little bit, but if the rate is like, 1 out of 100 people might have it, and you're passing each other for a fleeting moment, you're fine. And so it's funny that it just kind of, I respect the courtesy. And
me too. And that's the point that I bring up constantly, right? I actually talked about this with Cuomo 2 weeks ago. I did a show about Governor Cuomo and how he talks about how Americans, New Yorkers are smart. They'll just do it on their own. That's why we put a mandate in. I'm like, wait a minute. That's what he actually said, right? They'll do it. So we put a mandate in. I don't understand where his head is with that one, right? I literally did. And those of you who will follow me know, I actually did 62 events across New York State in 5 weeks. And I was just smart with my mask and my distancing. That's all I was. In most places, I didn't have to wear a mask. I kept my distance in most places where I could keep my distance. Nobody that I know of got COVID. I didn't. None of my team did. And we did 62 events. And some of them were small, like 2 or 3 people. Some were big, 35, 40. They probably averaged 15 to 20 people, is my guess. 15 people maybe was the average. Fine. If you're using some common sense, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is just keeping I think the biggest problem with anger to me isn't even the idea of anger. It's the fact that it makes you stupider. Like, I don't think it's bad to be angry, but it is bad to be stupid. And when people are at their angriest, I mean, their IQ visibly goes down. Like, nobody's operating at their highest level when they're pissed off. I definitely am not. And I think it's like, people are like, we have a right to be mad. We have a right to be mad. And I'm like, you do, but you don't really have a right to be stupid when you have an option to be smarter. And that's what happens when you get real heated.
I want to go to another one you talked about here. And this is one where you have your buddies are having to shake hands, the epic handshake, right, during Corona now. Oh, let me do this.
This is great, because this is something I will. Oh, yeah, go for it.
Yep.
Boris? Justin? You son of a bitch.
The sound effects are horrible.
Oh, thank you.
The sound effects are absolutely horrible. I'm not sure you should be saying thank you to that one.
Yeah, I squozed them myself.
That was terrible. Yes, that was horrible. So, but I'm
a Foley artist.
But when we still, the point I brought with this one is we still want to connect. And that's what that was actually about. We still want to connect in some way. Oh, I saw my friend. I still want to have a connection. And I think that's part of the reason that we become angry. It's part of the reason we become so frustrated, right? We're talking about we're almost worn out from COVID. And it's a point to where people are like, I don't care if bad things happen. I just want to be a human being again, right? I want to go out and do things. Then I'll die. Like, I mean, people are like thinking that way now, right? Because we're getting so frustrated with the way things are going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes from like just not treating it honestly. Like it's got to be risk mitigation, not risk elimination. And there's a lot of people who will lie to themselves, and then those are the people that sneak off in a corner. There's people who like abstain from certain things, and then they just go ham and they have like kind of excess in a hidden way. I mean, I'll be honest, I have two grandmothers. I have my grandmother just turned 93 years old.
Wow.
And I have another grandma that's 86.
Wow.
And one of them's been asking to die for a year. and
Okay.
they would both, frankly, rather go out to dinner with me tomorrow and die the next day than spend a year in their complexes stuck in their rooms. And it's the unfortunate reality that like everybody's kind of got really different situations that
100%.
are really personal.
Yes. Yeah, I have two people in my life who are over 85 and both have pre-existing conditions. One is chemo and one has both asthma and diabetes. I don't go see them, right? I don't go see them because I am worried that if they get COVID, they're probably going to die, right? I mean, they're exactly the group of people who are affected worse by this thing. So I don't go see them. And I will drop stuff off sometimes because I have a car in New York City. And those of you who don't live in New York City know a lot of people don't have cars. But I have a car, so I'll drop stuff off sometimes for them. But when I do it, I literally have a mask on, gloves on. I put it at their door, put a can of Lysol on top. I'm not joking, literally like a can of Lysol, and I walk away. Why? Because they're worried, because they are concerned. And I respect their fear. I respect their concern. It's their life, so I act accordingly. Right. But there are other people who are like, Larry, I don't care. Give me a hug. All right, fine. I'll give you a hug. A hug matters more to you. Right. And I'm fine with that. Whatever is right for your life.
I am the opposite. I wear masks to visit my grandma, and she's just like, take that stupid thing off. Just cut it. She was a doctor in Russia. She was a pediatric physician. And now she's just like, cut it out. I've been wanting to die for a year. You don't need to put this mask on. I do not care.
Well, it's funny you say that. When my mother and my father both passed of cancer. And when my father passed of cancer, he was younger. So he was all about, I want life. He's like, do whatever it takes. But when my mom was dying of cancer, she was older. We had my kids, so she already had she's a grandma at that time. She was like, I want to go out and enjoy my grandkids. And when she was on chemo, the doctors were like, don't go out. Your immune system is shot if you go out. And she's like, I'm taking my daughter to the amusement park. And she wore a mask and went. Her daughter was like, you go to an amusement park, you could die. My mom was like, then I'll die. Yep. She was like, I want to spend time with the people who I love. I want to spend time with my grandkids. And that's my life. That's why I'm living, is to do that. So why would I not do that and stay alive? I don't want to live then. That was where my mom's head was. Right. And both answers are right, man. I think you're totally correct. It's where your head is in your life.
Right. I think the big kind of cliche there is that a metric shouldn't become a goal. And so, you have metrics of life, but they can't be turned into goals because that's just nothing boils down that simple,
Absolutely. Let me grab a couple comments if I could. Aaron says, everyone is super angry right now and very distracted with COVID, so we don't have to see the truth around. I think there's some real, truth to this. If you can just focus on the one clear, obvious bad thing or good thing, you don't have to think much, do you?
Yeah. Just view it at the lowest resolution level, whichever side of it you're on, right? There's a very low. Yeah, I've thought about this before where like people get so mad at like whether it's a liberal or a conservative. And I really think that like there's short versions of arguments that come from somebody, whether it's liberal or conservative.
Yes.
And it's indistinguishable, like the stupid argument from the smart one. Somebody can make a phrase, and if you don't give them the benefit of the doubt, or maybe you shouldn't because they're a stupid person, but like a lot of times it's indistinguishable whether they're a thoughtful person that's like really kind of like gotten to a deep side of this, or whether they're just repeating something that they heard. You really have to have a longer conversation, and you can't always have time and give people time to have a longer conversation.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with what you talked about, right? When someone becomes angry, they become stupid. So the person may not be stupid.
Right.
I mean, it might be. I mean, those people exist, obviously.
Right,
But
right.
they might just be angry, and now they sound stupid because they're angry.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I worry about. You know, I try my best to not get angry. I do sometimes. People watch me. I do this show every day. So I do get angry sometimes, but I try hard not to, because I realize that at the core of anger, and this is what I teach when I teach my classes. I'm an egghead nerdy guy. I teach classes. I'm sorry. When I used to teach, when His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo II, all hail the king, when he actually allowed me to teach and did not deem me non-essential, when I used to actually do class to teach people, I would teach things like the root of anger is a lack of respect or lack of control or perceived lack of respect or perceived lack of control. So it's really in your head. That's why you're angry. I would teach this stuff. And then I do it myself. So I'm trying to not be that guy, but I get it too, right? I get that same amount of emotional push all the time.
Yeah. You got to stay zen.
There we go.
Like
Zen.
my grandma.
Absolutely.
It's easy at 93 to stay zen, you know?
Is
There's
it?
very little on the table. She just wants grandkids, you know? That's really all it comes down to.
Yes, my mom was the same. When my mom got grandkids, she was like, okay, we're good now. Now we're good. Now
Yeah.
I went, as I'm sure people who are older who've had this happen to them know, I went from being, when are you coming over, to when are you bringing my grandkid over?
Yeah.
I went from an important son to the taxi driver. I became the taxi driver. That's what I became. Now it was like, you can go now. That's what it was. Do I have to give you a tip or something? You can leave now. Mom, I'm your son. Who are you again? Get out of here. You're a driver. That's what kind of happened to me. So
Yeah,
yes.
It's interesting how that skips to it's great grandkids, actually, is what I meant, but it really skipped. I'm married now, but it really, once I hit 30, it really skipped from when are you getting married to just have the grandkids.
There we go. Yes, it was like, forget it. Just do it.
It honestly solves a lot of stuff too, because my grandparents are like old, you know, Russian Jewish women, and my wife is not Jewish, and they could not, you know, care less now. There was a point where in my mid-20s, they're like, yeah, but you know, it'll be simpler if you, I don't know if I'd say atheist the same way I don't really say libertarian. It's just too much attached to it. But like, you know, my wife is not Jewish. I'm Jewish. And they, at one point, that was a priority. And then once I hit 30, they were like, that's gone. You know what I mean? Let's just get somebody for the love of God. And then marriage was like, just give us grandkids. It could be out of wedlock.
Yeah, don't care anymore.
Anybody else. Yes. It does not matter. Give us something to continue life.
Well, I got to tell you, what's funny is my wife is Greek. And when we were very similar issue, you know, her parents were like, when are you going to find a good Greek boy? Then she's like, just find a boy. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. Plus, you don't want that credit card debt.
There we go. See, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, hit grease where it hurts.
That's good. I like that. Well, we're going to pay the price if we're Greek, I guess. But no, but my family now is Greek. All right. Part of what I did is my family is part of the Greek Orthodox Church now. So we're all Greek Orthodox now. Yeah. So there we go. I guess I converted. Not that my mom would have cared either way, but yes, I guess I did. So
you progressed.
I do want to bring up the zombie piece you brought up. I do want to go. It's a little bit longer, guys. It's not that long. It's about 2-3 minutes, but I want to go through that because there's some stuff you do there that I think is very good. The actors there are I don't remember. Did you direct that? Write that? What were you on that one?
I directed that. It was written by a guy named Ben Cantillo, very funny guy. And all the actors in that are fantastic, but one of them who I love is my buddy Derek Humphrey, who is a co-host of my podcast, Bushwick Bears. There we go.
Excellent. So I want to remember that there's just some pieces in it that I loved. It goes back to the first piece we showed. There was no dialogue, yet it still worked. In this one, there's some dialogue, but that's not the best part. The part is the acting, if that makes any sense. So
yeah, great.
Let me pull this up real fast. It's a zombie apocalypse.
Ibrahim. No.
Now, Ibrahim has been bit, right? So for those of you who don't know zombie movies, once you get bit by the zombie,
that's it. He got.
You're going to turn into a zombie now.
It's too late for me. In a few moments, I'm going to end up like all of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to.
No, I can't, man.
Please, Mark, it's the only way.
Everybody, right? Everyone knows you got to kill a guy. You got to chop him in the head, kill a brain, right? For you zombie aficionados, you know that, right? You got to get rid of the brain.
I can. I'll do it.
Inshallah.
This is for 9/11.
What?
Whoa!
Come on, that was out of nowhere. That's why I love that. And then, of course, immediately, now they all stop him because, I know he can become a zombie, but, that's just wrong, right?
But you can't be Islamophobic about it.
Exactly. You can't save the world being Islamophobic. That's just, no, you can't do that.
What?
What?
This is for 9/11.
You guys are like pro 9/11?
What the fuck does that even mean?
That's what I love when he goes, you guys are pro 9/11. And the reason why I enjoyed that part is it showed that an issue, and I'm going to go a little deep on this one, an issue that should have been nuanced, meaning the way a guy feels, what's happened, all those things, the way everyone else is feeling, went right to left or right.
Yep.
Went right to black and white. You're pro 9/11? So basically, you're with us or against us, whether or not I hack this guy up yelling, this is 9/11. You were supposed to comment now.
Oh, no. Well, I agree since I made it. Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes to show what we were saying before. When the moment's heated, everybody stops thinking and kind of argues about nonsense that isn't really important in the grand scheme.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
deep.
Look, I'm sorry. I just had to get myself pumped up. I won't say it again.
Look at him. He's still thinking it.
This guy, he's still, look at the face in this guy. He's so into it, right? He's like, yeah, it's not, and everyone knows he's into it. It's terrible. But there's a part of me though, right? As I see this happening, that goes, who cares, right? But there's a part of it that goes, yeah, it's kind of messed up. Like I'm actually torn watching it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Were you thinking it?
Look, I don't think it's anybody's business what I was thinking. But yeah, I was.
Jesus, dude. Most of the guys who did 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Ibrahim's from France.
No, he's Palestinian.
You know what? Let me do it.
No thanks.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It feels weird.
I don't love the optics.
Is this because I'm Jewish?
Yeah, pretty much. But
Yeah, and I don't love the optics. Who's watching?
Your
Right?
conscience, I mean, that's sort of a thing is that we're all kind of performing now,
Yes,
Lot
and I
of
remember a
performativeness.
while ago, and this is something that's kind of funny. Now, I remember a while ago, it was maybe 10 years ago, give or take. There were a couple of university professors who did some, studying and whatever they did with a bunch of teenagers, and they found that a lot of teenagers, and this began with some of the teenagers watching reality TV, that many of them were acting like they were on a reality TV show in their everyday life. They were so accustomed to seeing that and repeating art or thinking that's how life is that they began to start acting like they were on reality show TV, even when they weren't, talking to their friends that way, things like that. And then all of a sudden now, this mass of social media, and man, we were ready for it, right? Not me. I'm an old man. I was ready for it. But the youngsters were ready for it because they already began to act that way. Now here comes social media, and I'm an Instagram model overnight.
You know what it's sort of like is the critique that men have sort of sex has been perverted in their minds because of pornography.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of social interaction has been perverted in the same way due to the fact that so much of it takes place online where it's for an audience constantly. That's why, like, I don't get into really, like, I like to make jokes. I like it, if I will often make a joke and somebody from one side or another on Twitter or Facebook will comment in a way that either takes it seriously or tries to turn it into an argument. And I do my damnedest to double down. And I think it's the kinder thing to do. I do my damnedest to double down in a way that tries to make the joke more obvious to the person, where I'll go stupider, giving them a chance to go smarter and realize that it was the joke, and just to avoid at all costs turning into a discussion just because it feels fruitless. It just feels like there's no way. The aspect is so performative that it's a lost cause to try to do it in that medium.
It's funny, everything you're saying is making me think two sides, right? One side, I'm saying, when you have, as you said, kind of perverted, our social interactions here, right? So many things are high drama. Everything we watch on TV has to be higher or higher drama. Otherwise, we don't watch it, right? I'm not going to watch a boring show. If you watch a movie from, say, 1966, and then watch a movie today from 2016, say, 50 years apart, the amount of action in the 2016 movie, night and day. I mean, night and day. If you watch a movie in 1966, the beginning is often slow. It's explaining, it's getting you to get involved in the characters, it's all that kind of stuff. Every movie in 2016 begins on, right? I'm using that as a spot, but begins with high drama. That's the first scene. If it's an action movie, it's an explosion when a partner gets killed, right? If it's a romantic comedy, it's when he lost his first love, or why his mom yelled at him. There's high drama up front. And that's where we've been for a long time. All of a sudden now, if we see this, if my girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, isn't high drama, am I missing something? Do I have to find it someplace else? Does he or she really love me? Is this what it's like? It's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's distorted a lot of people's relationships. It's interesting because I recently watched for the first time on a plane Citizen Kane.
Yep.
And it doesn't fall into that. I found it extremely engaging, and I will watch older movies where I'm like, oh yeah, no, this does not hold up in the same way. Just literally the pacing. And in some ways it's good, right? Like movies today are that way because they're competing with a lot of other content. They're competing for marketing and everything like that. But yeah, there's kind of like a substitute for actual quality content, which is just adrenaline stuff in whatever form it is.
Okay, people are mad at me. They want me to get back to the movie. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna be good. We got to stop talking. You see, you're boring. You're 1966. See that? I'm 2016. Let's do this. Here we go.
I mean, it's the optics.
Exactly. The optics.
Look, someone's going to have to do this or else he's going to turn into one of those things and start eating us.
You have nothing to worry about, Josh. I'm a Muslim, and we don't eat big, fat fucking pigs.
Okay, what? So everybody's okay with body shaming now? All right.
That, I love that part too, right? So body shaming's okay. So now he's the victim now too. So everyone's got to be the victim, right?
Yeah, I mean, it also kind of plays into the fact that I don't think anybody can keep up with wokeness. There's people have blind spots, and it's inevitable. If you're not like constantly aware of everything you're doing and you're acting naturally and you're being real, there's gonna be those types of things. And I'm not gonna say where it is, but I had a meeting at a job at one point, and there was somebody who got in trouble for some tweets at that job, and somebody very young in their early 20s commented that basically there should be a zero tolerance policy. If someone tweets anything offensive, they should be gone immediately.
Yes.
And then just for funsies, I like sent a screenshot of it to a friend, and just for fun, he went to that person's Twitter, and within like 10 minutes found anti-Semitic tweets.
Absolutely, yes.
There's just always is
absolutely
one.
Yes. No, but the hardest part is now what winds up happening is this becomes overload for us. So now we rebel. So now you have somebody who says, look, I can't keep track of the 14,000 things I'm supposed to do that makes me woke. So you know what? I'm anti-woke. I am, everyone goes to hell. I'm mean, I'm angry, I'm nasty to everybody. And now I do the opposite, right?
I mean, that's how you get some of the rise of Trump.
Obviously. Absolutely. Yes. People saying, I'm done with this. It's how people feel alienated, right? Everyone begins to feel alienated. You have a huge chunk of people who feel like, I can't make anybody happy. I can't make anybody happy. I'll make nobody happy then. Fine. I don't care anymore. And I think that's our biggest problem. There's no connection.
Right. And there's a cynical version of that, but there's also the honest version of that, where there are people that no matter what you do, they're using it as a grasp of power against you, not as some sort of actual, handling a conflict. And so, yeah, you're actually calling their bluff correctly.
Yes. All right. They're going to get mad at me. They're saying at this rate, we're going to finish the video by the time the vaccine comes out. I find I'll play the movie. Look, they'll give me hell. We'll be quiet for the rest of it. It's short. It's only like another minute. It's fine.
All right. Good to know.
Okay, enough! This isn't about what he is. This is about what he's going to become. And what he is, by the way, is our friend.
You're right.
I can do it. What?
What?
Are you guys seriously going to be sexist right now? Ibrahim, you're okay with this, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Don't be mad at me. I gotta say something, guys. Give me a break. I love how he doesn't know how to not do the right thing. Right? The actor's good. He's like, well, yeah, like I don't want to be sexist, but it is me getting chopped, so I kind of do care. But yes,
right where the rubber meets the road.
Absolutely, yes.
it just has to be one clean blow.
What is that supposed to mean?
What it means is that he doesn't want to suffer. Women don't have the same upper body strength. It's not sexist. Look, there's a segment on Rogan about it.
Give me that.
That part was amazing. There's a segment on Rogan. Now, the reason why I loved it is that's relatable to so many people. Like, that's the Wikipedia now, right? It's a segment on Rogan about it. That's Wikipedia.
Right, for both reasons, sort of. There's a lot of people that have learned interesting stuff and heard interesting guests on Rogan, but then there's the flip side of the pejorative of the Rogan type, which what's funny is my wife listens to Rogan probably more than I do, but that goes against type a little bit. But yeah, there's a group of people, I see it all the time now, that almost like they're afraid of being grouped in. You know what's funny is I was just talking to someone I see that happening with Parler now.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
not super familiar with it, but all of a sudden I've been the most exposed to it, to all these posts on my timeline about stay away. It's dangerous.
Yes.
There's bad people there.
Yes.
And I'm like, what are you people talking about? What is, I don't know a lot about it, but what is it that you think can happen from viewing information? The worst information. I read Mein Kampf when I was in high school because I was curious. Like, what is it that you think can happen?
No, but my other part is what has always driven me crazy. I'll go with the Mein Kampf because you brought that up. Remember in Charlottesville when supposedly all the Nazis came out in Charlottesville? Many of the white supremacists did come out in Charlottesville. Remember all the problems that we had in Charlottesville? Right. Well, the governor at the time, McAuliffe, says, this is what he says. He goes, my answer to all you Nazis is go home. They are home. They're your neighbor. Their kids go to school with you. So if there are bad people and Nazis in the world, and there are Nazis in the world, if there are Nazis in America, avoiding them on Parler isn't going to make them go away. We fought a war against Nazis. 50 million people died in that war. We occupied a country for 70 years, and guess what we still have? Nazis. It didn't work.
Right.
We have to destroy the idea of Nazism. Killing Nazis doesn't work because we just make more of them. So we have to destroy the idea of Nazis. It has to be a conversation. The best way of not having Nazis is people not wanting to be Nazis. That's the way we stop it. It's literally that simple. Now, that's not easy to do, obviously. But I sure as hell can't do it if I don't talk to people.
Right. And there's also the unfortunate reality that there's probably other things that you don't want Nazis doing aside from just being. You want to stop them from enacting certain ideas and behaviors.
Right.
But in the end, there's also, to me, sort of an idealistic view where we're going to eradicate racism. I don't know if that's such a realistic goal or even one that's worth pursuing compared to taking the power away from those people.
It isn't worth pursuing because people are always going to be biased or prejudiced against the other in every way, shape, or form. The issue is, are we going to say that if I want to make a change or not like something or somebody, am I going to resort to violence or government? or am I just going to use my association and my example to make things right?
Right.
That's what we want to do. Am I going to use my freedom of association, my freedom of speech and example to make things right, or to avoid the person in either way? Yes.
It's not about strength, it's about technique.
Oh, excuse me.
I took an axe throwing class in Bushwick.
Now, hold on. She took an axe swing class in Bushwick. Now, that's a Brooklyn thing that, like, nobody, unless you live in New York, is going to actually get that. There's a class for everything in Brooklyn. And I mean everything. Someone will teach you anything in Brooklyn. By the way, those of you who don't know, Bushwick is in Brooklyn. They will teach you anything in Brooklyn. It doesn't matter where it is. What you want. You're like, you know what? I was thinking, how in the world could you wrap a golf club around a tree? There's a class for that. Just go on Craigslist. There's one. Guaranteed. So that was a very local joke, guys.
Fuck! What? Oh, why would you chop off my leg? Oh,
I think we can all feel good about this, right?
please kill me.
You gotta be brave enough to have these kinds of conversations, or else nothing is gonna change.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, this isn't an anti-woman thing. I just want to die.
Yes. And the thing that's great is, while the guy's dying, he's concerned about, are we being woke enough? Are we being woke enough now? This is good, right? We're being woke. That's what he cares about as she's chopping his guy's leg off.
Right. A metaphor for society.
Yes. I want to grab some more comments. We got a lot of comments. Most of them angry at me for talking and not showing the movie. But we do have some other things also.
To be fair,
yes.
one of them is someone whose podcast I trolled yesterday for fun.
Oh, is that right?
And so he's getting back at me today. Yes.
There we go. I love that. Yes. Hold on. This one is my other grandmother, dad's mother passed away at 94. Well, my mom's great aunt passed away at 102. Man, Andrew, you got some good genes, brother. I like that. I love that.
And that is more common. Oh, and that is Jared, who was in the video. Is this because I'm Jewish?
There we go. Yes, this is speaking directly to me. Thank you, Jared. I'm glad you're watching. I appreciate that. Yes,
speaking directly
absolutely.
to himself.
Yes, absolutely. So let me keep going if I can. See, Alex is mad. Larry, why'd you stop? Yeah, I know. I got you. Yes, I know. He's mad.
At least I trolled him under a fake name.
Ah, see? Well, he's being straight. I like it. Very good. All right. 9/11 was wrong. Jack, yes, I would agree with that. I think that we're good on that one. Yes, it was wrong. At the same time, I wouldn't assume some Palestinian dude is the guy who did it. That's all I'm saying. But yes,
right,
absolutely, yes, 100%. All right. See if I can do this. I think Alex likes the double commentary. Okay, I like that. That's good. So, Helen recommends New York Post, Newsmax, and Epoch Times for reporting on Trump. I've seen they absolutely do like they do like Trump very much. All of those do. I agree. It's all performance art, and that's what I mean by our people, right? I have a daughter who's 16, so she's right in the middle of this stuff, right? Like her world is heavily social media. Most of her connection with her friends is either through like Discord or TikTok or something like that, and that's kind of where her world is. So she is concerned, and she cared more. I know I want to make sure I'm not giving anything I shouldn't give away. She cared more about her personal appearance based upon how she would look online than out in the world.
Right.
Because that she spends more time online with people. She cares more about that appearance than her actual appearance outside.
Yeah. I often wonder whether that's going to be something that continues spiraling in the same direction, or I mentioned this on the podcast with Lou earlier, or whether we'll have sort of a herd immunity with the fact that we're interacting, because there already is a little bit of a backlash, like the younger generation is like, they're getting off Facebook. I mean, they're getting on to other stuff.
Yes.
But I wonder if it's going to be something that like, we're just going to have to learn to overcome, or like we'll inevitably learn to overcome. Because
I don't know. Right. I mean, think about how, when the phone came, there became phone etiquette.
Right.
Right. there became phone etiquette. Now that's not even a thing anymore. Now there has to be internet etiquette or whatever that is, right?
And that was the thing too, is people like talking, yapping on the phone. That was like an 80s, Valley Girls with the cord tied around their
Absolutely.
finger, walking around. That's not really a thing anymore. And we barely talk on the phone. We miss talking on the phone now.
Absolutely. Yes. In fact, even in business, right? Where it used to always be phone. I mean, this is how I do business meetings now. I send them a link. And this is how I have business meetings now, right? When I'm closing a deal, it's not a phone. I close the deal this way or via email. I don't close the deal on the phone anymore. I haven't closed a deal on a phone in years. I don't do it anymore.
And it's preferable, though. I mean, just in general, the more information you have, we're not measuring all these different inputs that we're getting from social cues and from seeing somebody on video.
Yes.
It's better. It's better than on the phone.
Absolutely. Paul says we should blame Michael Bay for the crazy action. It's all his fault.
That's fair. I think he holds some. I would say
fair. I like that.
I find him bittersweet. He's given us some good stuff, but I was just talking the other day about like Transformers and stuff where like there's so much money on the line for certain scenes where they just don't have the budget to like redo basic human interaction.
Yes.
So you have really cool, big, epic scenes, and then just basic human emotions are kind of like, why didn't they just do a second take of that? That was so strange.
Well, this is Stephen brings up, right? Yeah, but on the other hand, they will spend an entire TV episode on side character in a show you care nothing about. This is a piece I think Stephen's right? There's so many series out, right? My wife and I other day are looking at either Netflix or Amazon Prime, whatever one we were looking for. And she's like, I kind of want to watch just like a regular movie. I don't want to have to think too much. I want like a fun movie. I was like, fine, whatever you want. So she's looking through. She's like, oh, that's a series. Oh, 3 seasons. Oh, and like, everything she was trying to find was a series, right? There wasn't just, in this case, there wasn't really just a movie that she wanted to watch. And because we have so much of that, we start having the character development episodes, right? Where we try to develop a character. Stephen, the reason why they do that is they're hoping you'll like it so there's a spinoff.
Yeah,
right?
they're sort of testing it. They're audience testing that character.
Absolutely. So they're audience testing the character. If you jump on it, there's my spinoff. There's my next series, right? For my spinoff. That's what it is. I mean, that happened in Breaking Bad, right? Breaking Bad did well. They had Better Call Saul, right?
Which was also pretty good.
Yes, but because that character did well, now they went to the next. They got the spinoff, right? When it comes to, if I'm not mistaken, before COVID at least, HBO had 3 different spinoffs from Game of Thrones they were going to do.
Oh wow,
3 because they looked
at Game of Thrones. Actually, I've got that bragging right.
Watch everything until the last season. Don't watch the last season and just imagine in your head whatever you would rather have happen, because it'll be better than that hunk of garbage last season. That last season was so bad, it destroyed the taste in the mouth of so many people for that entire series. I mean, it was a terrible final season. Just don't watch it. Imagine what you like. Say that happened in your head. You'll be happier.
All the incest and rape was okay, but the poor writing of the last season was what did it.
That's what it was, right? I mean, look, if you're going to do incest and raping, it's got to work out at the end the right way. That's all I'm telling you. It's got to. Otherwise,
it's like a joke. The punchline better hit.
There we go. Exactly right. Yes, 100%. He says too many identities to keep track of. That's my point, right?
Touche.
One of my biggest things now, by the way, the biggest request I've had for training, believe it or not, is diversity training. Big deal this year for me. I haven't done much of it. And one of the reasons why is I don't do traditional diversity training. Traditional diversity training is actually, it's box keeping. It's making more and more boxes. So
you should know money.
You should know all the boxes. Say again?
I said, what, do you not like money?
I do like money. I do. And I'm also trying to not do my part in destroying the world.
Yeah.
Both of those things. Yeah. I would like to not do my part, right? So I'm not going to add to the many people will say diversity training is taking the 2 boxes that we have and making 64 of them. Now we win. I want either 1 big box or 7 billion boxes. I will do either of those 2. But anything in between, I'm not okay with, right? If you're going to give me 1 box for every human, I'm good. Or 1 big box. We're all human. I'll do one of those 2. But my entire training piece is not that, nor the other part of diversity training, which is actually stereotype reinforcement. So you have to be good to these people because these people act this way. You're actually reinforcing stereotypes.
Sort of
That's the most common way.
Bigotry of low expectations.
Correct. Yes, exactly right. Yes. So now everyone else is alienated because I want my box so that I can be special. Hence, you go to the more boxes. Or you do what I do, which sadly most people don't want. I actually do emotional intelligence training so that you simply understand critical things, which is everybody's not you. If you just understand that at your core, everybody else is not you. Stop projecting yourself on others. This is a libertarian thing I talk about all the time. I always say, I don't say do unto others as you would have done upon yourself. No, that's a problem. Do unto others as they want to be done upon. That's the platinum rule, not the golden rule. I want the rule that's even more expensive, the platinum rule. Give people what they want. It doesn't matter what you want. You get what you want, give them what they want. If you start doing that, you'll change everything.
Yeah, that's a good lesson, I think, especially for a lot of guys that kind of come from a libertarianish background. I think there's a big MO that comes to like, well, let's problem solve. That's sort of like a stereotype.
Yes.
And I think something that I learned, I think just in time for the Me Too movement, thankfully, was that a lot of times people share things and they're not looking to problem solve. And it's okay to either, you know, keep scrolling or to say, I support you and I'm glad for you. And it is not the time to say, well, here's what you need to hear. And here's how you move forward. Here's how you grow stronger from this experience.
I got to call this out. No, you don't.
Nobody's interested in it.
Yes.
They're posting it to get their like and for you to move on.
Yes.
And I think if I could say anything to 18-year-old me, it would be that sort of lesson. I think I had a lot of awkward moments and ruined a lot of potential connections with women where I could have just kept my mouth shut.
Well, I would say if you know, some people ask me about what I think about certain people, and I don't say anything. And they're like, why won't Larry hate this guy? They want me to hate somebody or to love somebody.
Larry, name names.
And I just say nothing, right? If I don't have anything good to say about something, I just say nothing. I don't have to call bad behavior out. I don't have to attack somebody if it's not going to change their mind or change anything. It just makes the enemy now. So I keep my mouth shut. I say nothing, just nothing. But my wife and I, you know, my wife has been together 20 years now. And the time we've been together, we've been able to learn how to communicate better, right? So very often, literally, I'll ask her things like, do you want my opinion? Like, I'll ask her that, right? And she'll sometimes give me cues now. We've been together so long. She'll say, before she starts talking, she'll go, Larry, can I vent? That means, shut up. I don't want an answer, right? When she says that, can I vent? I go, yeah, go ahead. Now my job is to go, wow. Oh, my God, really? That's my job now. And that's what I do. I don't try to solve her problem because she's not asking for it. When my wife wants my opinion, she'll often say, can we talk about this? Or she'll say, I need your help. She'll say that when she wants my opinion. She doesn't always want my opinion.
This
exactly
is valuable,
right. Yes.
Valuable advice. I'm 9 months in.
Yes.
I got married into the pandemic.
Yes. Here's what I will. I can give you some good advice. I hope you'll take it, but maybe not. But who cares? But I'll give you some anyway. Remember something. Your wife is not your friend. And that may sound crazy, but she's not. She doesn't require your guidance. Doesn't require you to do those types of things. She's your wife. She's your partner. What she needs from you is two things: love and respect. Her, more love, but also respect. Those two things. That's it. You do those two things, you can be better off than if you try to fix her or give her help or be her friend. You'll be her friend by default. You'll be her lover by default. But just those two things, the rest will work.
But sometimes I got a roaster, Larry. I got a roaster.
If you do it with love and respect, it's fine.
Always.
That's the issue.
We only roast the ones we love.
I tease my wife all the time. My wife and I sometimes vulgar at each other in front of our kids. But it's always laughter with love and respect and fun. That's the two things. Love and respect. The rest happens on its own. Those are the two things to remember. I don't want to fix my wife. I can't fix her anyway. If I wanted to fix her, I should have married her.
Yeah, I mean, for me growing up, that's sort of my love language is criticism. I've said this to friends before, but it really is. I came up in a household that argued at the dinner table, argued politics, criticized, like, right away. If I come home and I gained weight, I'm gonna hear it, or whatever it is. My beard looks stupid, I'm gonna hear it. And it's one of those things where, now I have a circle of friends that I've gotten to be a little bit more measured about it, where I
Sure.
understand when it's appropriate, but also I've gathered a group of friends that appreciates that and knows that I don't criticize people that I don't love. I don't
There we
care
go.
about them.
I like that.
I'm
I
not
don't
trying
care
to
about
fix
them.
the world.
I like that.
I mean, I care about them as much as I care about any random person, but it's the people that I'm close to that I want to be like, this is not you at your best self. I want you to know that, because you can be at your best self around.
I got you. I love it. Chris says social media is divisive and tribal. I think that's true, but so are humans in general.
Shut up, Chris. You don't know what you're talking about.
There we go. Perfect. I think most of them are, right? I think most people are. But tribal doesn't mean that we have to be fighting each other, right? Tribal, we create tribes over everything. We create tribes over baseball teams. We create tribes over,
Right.
TV shows we
You
watch.
agree on a set of rules in which you have that conflict.
And many of us are part of several tribes, right? We're part of a tribe for this, a tribe for that, a tribe for the other thing. So, and even in olden days when we had tribes, we would marry into tribes to make the tribes bigger, right? We would, join together, trade between tribes and have a lot of value. I think we can still do that. Absolutely. But Larry, that's the problem. There's no connection. Yes. Right. I always say this. People care how much you know only after they know how much you care. You've got to connect first, then they'll hear you. You don't connect, nobody hears you. Nobody does. I mean, and you're asking what the solution is. I will tell you what the solution is. Lower lib, whatever, whoever that is, I will tell you. It is finding a common goal and then discussing how you get to a common goal. That's the solution. That's it right there. So I asked this question. Good. The Rogan references, I think he means great, not greasy, but that's okay. It could be greasy too, Paul. I'm okay with both. Yes, I'm okay with both. The Rogan type. Yes. I got to tell you, that's a thing. Like, I was on Rogan, right? And when I was on Rogan, that was my most popular of all my social media I did was Joe Rogan. I must have got 800,000 views from it, some crazy amount of.
It's the Tonight Show. It's today's Tonight Show.
Absolutely, it was great. Happy I was on it. It was a great thing for me. I still get recognized today on the street in New York, and it's almost always from Joe Rogan. Sometimes not, but out of 10 times I recognized, 6 is from Joe Rogan, and it's always exactly the Joe Rogan type. It is. It's a young male who yells, "Larry Sharpe, regulate cannabis like onions." It's that like every other time. It is. It's so common.
Well, you're winning on that one, right? A lot of legislation passed over the past couple weeks.
It's true. Absolutely. Without question. But they say the war on drugs lost the election.
Yeah, or drugs won the election.
There we go. Yes, either way. Yes, absolutely. Helen said it's possibly tribal and simultaneously respect diversity. Absolutely, Helen. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Now, Alex is bugging me. I see why they call it the Sharpe Way stew. It takes 4 hours to get through. Thanks, Alex.
He's at it. This is from when we were playing the video.
I know. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I know. This is when Mein Kampf was actually available to read in high school. Yeah, it's now available in Germany now.
Oh, they got rid of the bans.
Yes, but there's a rule they put. You have to put commentary in it. So there's commentary in it in the book, which you can now read it if you want to, but there is commentary with it now.
Interesting. I guess we'll do that with Mark Twain over here.
Yeah, eventually. Well, they've taken the N word out of Mark Twain now.
Right. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, and I was telling others that they didn't get it. Yes, I knew what you were talking about, but in case the audience didn't get it. Yeah, and I got to tell you, as a person of color who's been called the N word more than once, far more online than in person, though. But anyway, but who's been called that more than once, I'm not okay with that. I think you want the words to stay. It's in my word. It's like changing Shakespeare. I don't think you can.
It's also about sort of being exposed to it in the right context, which is if you're a person that's reading Mark Twain, ideally that's not the same person that's going down a YouTube rabbit hole of Nazi videos. You know,
Yes.
there should be some assumed benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely. And if you're going down that whole internet, there's a whole lot of those words plus others that you're going to hear, and it's not going to be Mark Twain that stops you.
I know if you go down a YouTube rabbit hole of videos that say the N-word, I mean, the probably best case scenario is you land on something Mark Twain.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, see? We should be pumping the internet with Mark Twain references. You can solve the problem. I love it. I love it so much. It's very good. Yes, that's good. All right. Let me see if I can keep going down here. Grab a couple more. Let's see. She this is horribly dark. Okay, I guess. Edgy humor is good sometimes. I agree, Paul, completely. I think edgy humor is good sometimes. It depends on what you're up for when you're up for it. Sometimes you want to watch dumb things like, SpongeBob humor. And sometimes you want to watch dark humor. And sometimes you don't want to watch humor at all. You want something serious. Yeah. I think it really depends where your head is.
You know what's something interesting, especially with not just edgy, but, potentially offensive humor? I've evolved on this to oddly enough, even sort of more free speech perspective, where my perspective used to be that, you could joke about anything as long as the punchline is good enough, right? Whether it's, rape or murder or the Holocaust or whatever it is. And then as I started doing more clubs in New York, and as I started doing more shows where it's not a comedy scene and it's just audience, I realized a lot of times it doesn't even have to be a brilliant punchline. A lot of times people go, and when they're paying customers and they just want to escape all that and laugh,
yes,
it doesn't have to be the most brilliant thing. People don't necessarily want to be challenged on those subjects. They just want to laugh at all the stuff they cry about outside that room. Yeah. And it's really a nice thing to give them the opportunity to do that.
But there's also an intent that comes across,
Definitely.
Right? And the example I always bring up is Mel Brooks, right? I mean, Mel Brooks literally fought in World War II. Or I don't know if he was a combat soldier. But he was in the military during World War II. I think he was a combat, but I'm not sure about that. But he was in there. He lost people in the Holocaust. He lost family in the Holocaust. Right. And that guy joked about Hitler like every other week. I mean, every other week.
Springtime for Hitler, yeah.
Yes, because his intent was to belittle Hitler. His intent was to take the sting off of something that hurt his family so much. The intent was the right intent, even though he was joking about something horrible. Right. I think the intent does matter. I really do.
Yeah. And I'll even double on that. And that the intent is not even just to belittle Hitler, but it's also to kind of cut through the emotions people have tied to Hitler.
Sure.
Because like you said, that hate is like, yeah, Hitler is not obviously somebody that you want to have any affinity for, but looking at things in a context where you're not enraged and you're dissecting it in a rational way allows you to, obviously prevent things like that in the future. What's interesting, I was listening to Dan Carlin, of all people, talk about this, and he had a interesting assessment of basically where Hitler's anti-Semitism is sort of what lost him the war. That if he wasn't, an anti-Semite, there would have been all these minds that would have stayed in Germany, like an Einstein, or,
absolutely.
Oppenheimer's family came prior to that. But he would have kept all that talent that would have theoretically given them the power of the bomb. And what's funny is it kind of made me think of the libertarian idea around prejudice that, if you're a company that's prejudiced, you're going to lose talent to your competitor. And so, in a way, like some people think America won World War II, some people think it was Russia. In a weird way, Hitler lost to the free market.
Oh, I like the way you think. Look at you, libertarian. Well, you've given me a chance to promote my sponsor right now. If you guys care about that, you don't know how libertarian you are, head on over to theadvocates.org. Head over there, check them out. And look, real fast, if you don't mind, listen to this smart guy, right? This guy's going to, the advocates, listen to me. Go over to the advocates. If you can, take a couple seconds. The advocates that will take the test. See where you are. To be forward, people think it's a libertarian test. It isn't. Only about 30% of the people who take the test actually come out libertarian. Most come up moderate. About 35% come up moderate. But they do sometimes come up libertarian, obviously. A lot of people watch this show libertarian. So please head over there, take that test. And if you don't mind, later on today, if you would take it, that would be awesome. And let your comedian friends so they can take it too. It would be awesome if you would do that. Just up to you if you want. You don't have to. No pressure. Lots of pressure. No pressure, Boris. Lots of pressure.
No,
So-
I'd be
so-
very
so-
curious. I'd be curious where I land.
There we go. I love that. Absolutely. So Missy says she despises talking on the phone. It's the introvert. My daughter does too. My daughter won't answer my phone unless I text her first. I pay for her phone.
Yeah.
And she won't answer my phone unless I text her first. It is crazy. Absolutely.
COVID got me into it for sure. COVID got me back into it. In a great way. Friends that I have a really, really good friend that is a doctor in Virginia now, and we didn't talk forever. And then COVID hit, and we had a couple long phone calls and caught up. And it was just one of those things where, like, I don't know, emotionally, it kind of switched where you wanted to connect with people.
Yes, and I've always say connection is the big deal now. We're trying to find ways to connect more than ever. Absolutely.
I mean, look at all these comments. We're connecting.
100%. Tons of people are out here. Of course they are. 100%. So, Boris, let me ask, before we wrap this up, is there anything else you want to bring up, you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
No, I think that's about it. Aside from maybe if I could plug that podcast again.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Bushwick Bears at Bushwick Bears. That's the same Bushwick you heard earlier. The same reference. We used to have a live show in Bushwick for many years until COVID, and then we had one also at the Stand in New York. But yeah, we got a podcast now. We're on Twitter. Follow all that.
I love that. Follow everything. Absolutely.
All of
and
that.
of course, head over to Twitter, the Boris K. Boris, thank you so much for coming tonight. I appreciate that. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope it was fun and interesting. I try to make sure it's fun and interesting every Friday. I will see you all on Monday. I am back 7 p.m. on Monday. Guys, have